April, that is starting from today to 23rd April 2026 in online mode. The participants will also have access to live streaming via YouTube. The objective of this FDP, that is Faculty Development Program, is sensitizing and reorienting faculty members on contemporary educational methodologies. This program is designed to facilitate a deeper understanding of pedagogical approaches, assessment strategies, and curriculum implementation frameworks. So, to begin with the immense pleasure and gratitude, I would like to welcome all the eminent personalities who have joined this faculty development program. We have with us today Dr. Manisha Kotekar ma'am, Chairperson, National Commission for Indian System of Medicine, New Delhi. A very warm welcome to you, ma'am. Dr. Alama Prabhu Gudda sir, President, Board of Ayurveda, NCISM, New Delhi. Hearty welcome to you, sir. Dr.
Thank you,
K.P.
madam.
Trivedi, Member Board of Ayurveda, NCISM. Welcome, sir. Dr. Atul Vashne, sir, Member Board of Ayurveda, NCISM, New Delhi. Welcome to you too, sir. Let us also welcome committee members of Faculty Development Program. That is Dr. Anand Katti sir, Dr. Ashutosh Pathak sir, Dr. Sunil Tripathi sir, and Dr. Prajna Kapse ma'am. A warm welcome to our today's guest speakers, Dr. Yogita Jamdade ma'am and Dr. Madhumati Navkar ma'am. I would like to welcome all officials and employees of NCISM who are with us today. My heartfelt welcome to all principals, professors, associate professors, and assistant professors of Ayurveda, Siddha, Unani, and Sovarikpa colleges of India. Welcome to one and all present here. So let us begin this program with introductory note by Dr. Alama Prabhu Gudda sir, President, Board of Ayurveda, NCISM, New Delhi. Sir, over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like a very good afternoon. And I congratulate the team because sharp 2 o'clock you have started the program. Congratulate. The NCISM New Team assumed office on December 10th. And from January 10th, we started interacting with the different colleges. We had been to Gujarat, Karnataka, Maharashtra, Tamil Nadu, Uttar Pradesh. And approximately 60% of the college were covered. We had interaction with the principals, management committee members, all those things. And then in a year, we organized one workshop for Samhita. And this is serving a soup before meal. So this is the first FDP program. So for next 4 years, we will have the online, offline FDP programs for undergraduate, postgraduates, and other things. So now for this FDP, so just I have remembered one simple story. In Rameshwaram, there was a government primary school, and a student asked the science teacher, "Sir, how the aeroplane will fly in the air?" Then the teacher says, "No, no, I will not explain this in classroom. Today in Shishori, all students assemble, and in the evening." The science teacher explained he catch a one bird, and he explained how the bird will fly in the air, and then he compared the same with the aeroplane. One of the student in that class, he was very much impressed by that science teacher, and then he became he became a aeronautical science engineer, and then he became the ISRO chairman, and then he became the President of India. It is the story of APJ Abdul Kalam. He always used to remember his science teacher, Shiva Subramaniam Iyer, because of this story, inspiration story. And one more story is from Karnataka. One Ayurvedic doctor was there. So by name Srinivas Shastri. So he used to tell a story of Bhagiratha. So he used to say that when Ganga fall from Akasha to Bhumi, so Shiva sat and the Ganga fall on head of the Shiva, and then all the water then reached the earth through his head. So his child was so impressed that then he became an engineer, and then he constructed a number of dams. And now the Engineers Day on 15th September was celebrated on his name. He is none other than Sir M. Vishwesvaraya. He was inspired by his father. He's an Ayurvedic doctor. And one more professor was there in Mysore. So he was a philosophy professor. But when he he starts the class, the other branches of the students used to attend the classes of this philosophy. And when he was transferred from Mysore to Chennai, so he has to travel from his home to railway station. So at that time, there is no vehicles, only tanga, which were used by the this horse. What the student did is they removed the horse and they carried that professor on their shoulder to the railway station. So this is the story of Sarvepalli Radhakrishnan. These are all the stories how the teachers impressed their students and all. So as always, Isaac, one teacher was there. He was a teacher of world class university. When the plague was there, all the universities were closed, and one professor sat under the tree. Apple fall on his head, and he invented the this one theory. So this is the story of Isaac Newton. And Galileo you always used to say that he learned more things in cafe rather than in classrooms. So likewise, so we have to. There are number of stories of teachers, teaching methodologies, and things are there. And the newer FDP teaching methodologies, it doesn't mean that we have to use the very high invent Raman effect. CV Raman used this only 2 rupees 75 paisa. Sir CV Raman used 2 rupees 75 paisa, and then he invented Raman effect, and he got the uh, teaching methodologies regarding the ISRO. So ISRO, when they were invented, when they developed the PSLV, so their biggest challenge is the rockets has to carry more weightage of the satellites. Then they do not have that technology. At that time, Russia says that we do not transfer the technology, but we will provide you the machines. Then ISRO obtained that machines and they studied the machines and they developed the technology. So likewise, we have to give the teaching methodology, tools and all. So students has to develop that technology. So one more example which I would like to quote lastly is regarding the Japan. So in Japan, what happens is after the Second World War, they have decided to teach peace for the students. So once what happens, a educationist from Karnataka, he had been to Japan, and his grandson injured one person from the Japan, and very surprisingly, parents of that Japan boy were not at all angry. The large owner told that it happened because after the Second World War, the educationists of the Japan they have decided not to include the that Humsa in the education. So then that's why the Japan students were very polite and all. So likewise, the teaching number of and PPTs of these things on science of tech teaching, teaching framework, principles, mechanism of learning, learners type, assessment methods, tools, etc. So all these speakers have prepared very well. And lastly, I would like to conclude my speech by saying that the nation builds up in the classroom. Ayurveda builds up in the classroom. This is the first faculty development program. I hope you take the advantage of this faculty development program.
Thank you so much, sir, for your valuable insights on objectives of faculty development program with a perfect example. Thank you, sir. So next we have inaugural speech by Dr. Manisha Kotekar, ma'am, Chairperson, NCISM, New Delhi. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Trupti. First of all, I welcome all of the faculties gathered for this FDP, and good afternoon, all of you. अभी जैसे आलम प्रभु सर ने बहुत much to say for me about how we can look towards this program. लेकिन मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि जैसे ये जो पूरा एफडीपी है, जो हमारा सीबीडीसी है, वो एक पैराडिम शिफ्ट है। पहले जिस प्रकार से हमारे फैकल्टीज तैयार खुद को करते थे और क्लासरूम में जाते थे और लोगों ने जो स्टूडेंट्स है उनको सिखाते थे, उससे बहुत ही अलग तरीके से वी आर फेसिंग मेनी चैलेंजेस, और जो न्यू हमारा जो CBDC है उसको अगर हमें एड्रेस करना है, उसको खुद को हमारे अंदर अगर इनकलकेट करना है, तो मुझे लगता है कि खुद भी हमें ये सीखना पड़ेगा। बहुत बार हमें लगता है कि कुछ भी अगर नई चीज है, कोई भी चेंज, ह्यूमन बीइंग का नेचर ऑफ ह्यूमन बीइंग इज नॉट टू एक्सेप्ट एनी चेंज। तो ये बिल्कुल हमारे सबके साथ में होता है कि इनर्शिया रहता है। कुछ भी नया अगर हम करने जाते हैं, चेंज या शिफ्ट जब करते हैं, तो एक इनर्शिया रहता ही है। लेकिन मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि आज के जो चैलेंजेस है, जिस तरीके से स्टूडेंट्स हमारे सामने आते हैं, और स्टूडेंट्स के साथ साथ आगे जाके वो स्टूडेंट्स जिन पेशेंट्स को फेस करेंगे, वो भी बहुत ज्यादा वेल वर्स्ड है और टेक्नोलॉजिकली भी बहुत साउंड है। तो मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि इन सभी चैलेंजेस को देखते हुए हमें स्टूडेंट्स को जिस तरीके से तैयार करना है, उसके लिए खुद को भी तैयार करना पड़ेगा। देयर इज नो ऑप्शन फॉर अस, हमें ये करना पड़ेगा, सीखना पड़ेगा। और मुझे ऐसा लगता है कि ये नई नई जो टेक्नोलॉजी है, वो पहले जैसे मोबाइल पहले हमारे हाथ में आया, तो वी वेर हेजिटेंट टू हैंडल दिस ऑल दिस डिवाइसेस, लेकिन धीरे धीरे हमने सीख लिया। PPT के साथ पढ़ाना, ये भी कहाँ पहले के टीचर्स को आता था, लेकिन वो भी हमने सीख लिया। मुझे लगता है एट द एज ऑफ 55-60 भी ऐसे भी टीचर्स हैं जिन्होंने ये सब टेक्नोलॉजी सीख कर खुद वो तैयार कर रहे हैं। डिजिटल क्लासरूम वी आर हैविंग नाउ इन ऑल कॉलेजेस, वी आर टैकलिंग विथ डिजिटल क्लासरूम, और नए नए डिवाइसेस को भी हम अभी देख रहे हैं। तो मुझे लगता है कि इसी प्रकार से ये चैलेंज भी हमने लेना चाहिए। और जैसा हम समझते हैं कि कोई भी टीचर जब क्लासरूम में जाता है, तो जैसे युद्ध पे हम जाते हैं, तो सब हमारे जो शस्त्र है वो ठीक से हमारे पास है कि नहीं, वो भी देखते हैं, और वो शस्त्र हमें चलाने आते हैं कि नहीं, वो भी हम एक बार कंफर्म कर लेते हैं। तो उसी प्रकार से, क्योंकि रोज की लड़ाई है जो जीतनी ही है, हमें रोज रोज वैसा ही है कि रोज का हम नहीं ये कह सकते कि आज का क्लास जाने तो ऐसे कैजुअल ले लेंगे। इट इज नॉट लाइक दैट। हर क्लास में, हर लड़ाई में हमें जीतना है। तो जीतने के लिए जो तैयारी करनी पड़ेगी, वो तैयारी के लिए इस प्रकार से NCISM इज विथ यू। और जिस प्रकार से भी आप चाहेंगे फैकल्टी डेवलपमेंट प्रोग्राम में, ये फर्स्ट FDP है इस प्रकार का, तो इसमें आपको जो भी लगेगा कि इसमें और कुछ हमें इनकॉर्पोरेट करना है, और टॉपिक्स चाहिए या अलग तरीके से और कुछ होना चाहिए, तो यू आर मोस्ट वेलकम। हम बिल्कुल आपका जो भी सजेशंस है, वो भी मुझे, मैं जो ऑर्गेनाइजर है उनको भी कहूंगी कि वो जरूर आप वहां पर नोट डाउन कर लीजिए, और हम उस प्रकार से उसको और अच्छा अपडेटेड करते जाएंगे। तो मैं सभी को यही कहूंगी कि सभी फैकल्टीज ने इस प्रकार से छात्र के तरीके से सीखना है। ऐसा कहते हैं कि वो शिक्षक वही अच्छा है जो हर समय छात्र खुद को समझता है और सीखते रहता है। तो नई नई बातें सीखने का एक मौका भी हमारे पास इस प्रकार से मिल गया है। तो मुझे लगता है कि ये छोड़ना नहीं चाहिए और सीखना चाहिए। और मुझे बिल्कुल विश्वास है कि जितने भी लोग यहाँ पर ज्वाइन हुए हैं, वो तो जरूर सीखेंगे, लेकिन वो बाकी लोगों को भी ये कन्वे जरूर करेंगे कि इस प्रकार से हमें खुद को अपडेट करने के लिए बहुत अच्छा एक अपॉर्चुनिटी है, जिसको हमने गंवाना नहीं चाहिए। तो आगे भी इस प्रकार से जो प्रोग्राम हम लेंगे, उसमें भी बाकी सभी लोग जरूर यहाँ पर ज्वाइन होंगे, इसका मुझे पूरा विश्वास है। सभी को एक शुभकामनाएं देती हूँ। सभी रिसोर्स पर्सन को NCISM के तरफ से एक धन्यवाद भी देती हूँ कि उन्होंने समय निकाला और यहाँ पर वो अपना जो भी नॉलेज है इस विषय में, वो शेयर करने के लिए तैयार हो गए और समय दे रहे हैं। तो NCISM के चेयरपर्सन के नाते मैं उनका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद भी देती हूँ। सबको शुभकामनाएं देते हुए मैं मेरा यहाँ पर मेरा जो क्या कहेंगे, इनॉग्रल वाला जो छोटा सा स्पीच है, वो मैं यहाँ पर समाप्त करती हूँ। थैंक यू सो मच।
Thank you so much, ma'am, for your encouragement and support for conducting this faculty development program. Thank you so much, ma'am. So now let us move on to the first session of day one, that is 21/4/2026. So before that, participants are requested. So before that, it's a note for all the participants. Participants are requested to post questions in the chat box or YouTube comment section. Few questions will be answered in this platform itself, and answers to remaining questions instructions will be communicated officially to each college. This is a note for all the participants. So with this, we will move on to the first session of day one, that is Principles of Medical Education and Adult Learning by Dr. Yogita Jamdade ma'am, Professor and HOD, Department of Samhita Siddhanta, PDES College of Ayurveda and Research Center, Nigdi, Pune. So here is a small intro for our eminent speaker today. She is a holder of PhD, MA in Sanskrit, recipient of Vaidya Scientist Fellowship sponsored by Ayush, with academic experience of 25 years, has delivered more than 44 lectures in workshops and seminars. She has been awarded with Purushottam Shastri Nana Charak Award, Best Teacher Samhita Siddhanta National Award, and many more. She is involved in many research activities and published 22 articles in various journals and 4 books. Now let us listen to our speaker. So over to you, ma'am.
Before Yogita ma'am, I want to tell that I request all the faculty members to join the meeting with their own name or with their college name or college code so we can trace your identity. I can see there are people who has joined without any name, 1, 2, 3, and other things. Secondly, I want to request that question and answer we will be taking after the session. I will open the chat box so you can write your questions, and we will try to resolve all your queries maximum as possible from our end. Thank you. Over to you, ma'am. Uh,
Let us begin the first session by Dr. Yogita Jamdare ma'am. Ma'am, over to you, ma'am.
Yogita madam?
she is in meeting.
Yeah, she is there.
I will ask her.
Okay.
Hello. Am I audible, sir?
Yeah, you are audible now.
Sorry,
It's okay.
just. Okay. Good afternoon, all. Thank you, ma'am, for this brief introduction. First of all, I would like to thank NCISF dignitaries Manisha Kothekar, ma'am, Gudda, sir, Anand Katti, sir, and this FDP program committee members, Pathak, sir, Pradnya, ma'am, Tripathi, sir, all dignitaries of NCISM for giving me this opportunity to speak in this FDP workshop. Now, teachers, respected senior teachers and all teacher friends. My first topic of this workshop is slides are visible, sir? My slides are visible?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam. Visible.
Okay. So today's topic is Principles of Medical Education and Adult Learning. As Gudda sir has told us that they have visited many colleges in Maharashtra or at any in any place of country, and they got feedback that many of the teachers, they are not aware of these medical education technology. So it is decided that let us explain it in very simple language. So I will like to explain these principles in very simple language. Today's topic is Principles of Medical Education and Adult Learning. So under these objectives of this lecture is the participant will be able to define what is education, medical education, and teaching framework. They will be able to state the difference between pedagogy and andragogy. Then they will be able to describe the principles of adult learning, that is andragogy. Then they will be able to illustrate the different learner types, that is Bark model, specifically Bark model, and explain mechanism of learning. They will be able to understand the competency-based dynamic education in Ayurveda, and they will be able to know role of the teacher as a facilitator. So I know that since 5 years, we are implementing this CBDC program. So we all are aware of these terms, but this is a quick repetition revision for all of us. So let's move on. Education. First objective is to know what is the definition of education. Education is a process of teaching and learning. In our syllabus, it is stated that Trivida Jnanopaya, that is Adhyayan, Adhyapan and Tadvidya Sambhasha. So Adhyayan and Adhyapan is teaching and learning is Adhyapan. So this process, whether it takes place in the schools, colleges, it is called as a education. So why this education is there? Maybe it is in formal stage or it is in informal stage. So this education is, or the process of teaching learning is there to gain some information, that is knowledge, to develop some skills, or to imbibe some values in the learners, so that they can develop personally and they can develop socially also. So this education system or the process of teaching learning enables the learner to gain knowledge, to acquire specific skills, certain skills, and to adopt certain values which are useful in their lives. But today's era demands more. It demands more. So this education includes the increasing ability of critical thinking or enhancing ability of critical thinking. What is critical thinking? Critical thinking is what is right, what is wrong, that the learner should be able to differentiate. Then, next, this education, this teaching learning process nowadays demands ability to develop creativity, because innovation process should be there. And for innovation, ignite these innovative minds, we have to motivate students, or we have to enhance the creativity in the students. Next demand is the problem solving demand. Present days challenges are very much. So rather than a specific learning, the student should be able to solve the present situation or present day's problems, and also he will be able to take decisions ethically. So this education includes these terms also, that is critical thinking, creativity, problem solving ability, and ethical decision making power of students should be enhanced through this teaching learning process. But we are in medical field. We are dealing with the health of the patient, health of the human being. So we should be well equipped, or our students should be well equipped with scientific knowledge. Then our student should be well developed with clinical skills, not clinical skill. Clinical skill is diagnosing patient rightly, treating the patient, and as well as communicating properly with the patient. And next is conduct all the processes ethically. So this is called a teaching learning process in medical education. It is the same, but it is dealing with the medical domain, with the patient. So we have to develop a specific clinical skills, communication skills. Then we have to imbibe the ethical conduct in a conduct process in the students. So In medical education, teaching learning process focuses on scientific knowledge, clinical skill enhancement, and ethical conduct during the all process. Now, this teaching learning process includes a teaching framework. What is a teaching framework? Teaching framework is a research informed tools. What is research informed tools? Nowadays we are very much well versed with the term evidence based medicine. Likewise, teaching learning process should be based on the evidences. Which evidences? The evidences that has been collected during this academical research. So these academical researchers have searched out some tools which will be helpful for the teaching, and that forms a teaching framework. So this forms a foundation of our teaching, which includes approaches for the designing learning process to enhance the teaching outcome. What is teaching outcome? The student should be knowledgeable, very much skilled, update. So these all tools are that should be adopted in our teaching learning process. These research informed tools align course goals, activities, and assessments. Now we are teaching with these things also. We plan our lectures. Firstly, during our lesson plan, we show or tell students what is learning objectives, what are course objectives, how these COPOs are mapped. Then we conduct many activities pertaining to our subject or our topic, and we are continuously engaging in these assessments. So these research informed tools are aligned with these course goals, activities, and assessments. So let's go one by one about in detail about this teaching framework. First is course goal. What is course goal? Course goal is what is expected to achieve by the student. What we expect student to achieve by conducting this course. So this is statement of intended general outcome of a course or a program. So program outcomes, we all have gone through this in our user manual of NCISM. Then these course outcomes or course goals, these are large ideas. These are essential questions. So what qualities a student should possess, what skills they have to adopt. So these are the essential questions. This course goal, once it is properly decided, these course goals helps us to decide course content. So course goal should be specific, and it is very useful to decide course content. And also it helps to decide learning objectives. Then let's move on learning objectives. What are learning objectives? See, program outcome is a broad term, and learning objectives are these are for us completing some specific part of the course, some specific unit of the course. So these learning objectives are the statement of skills, knowledge, and attitudes that students able to know or students able to do after completing part of the course. These are called as the learning objectives. So at the end of this lecture, student should be able to learn how to apply Tantra Yukti while reading or understanding Samhita. So these are the learning objectives related to the specific part of the program. Then these learning objectives are in accordance with the course outcomes, and it is denoted by action words, that is to describe, to analyze. The student should be able to analyze, student should be able to define, describe. So these action verbs are used while describing learning objectives. So in this teaching framework, the learning objective should be student-centered. Student-centered. What student should be able to learn at the end of this specific unit that is stated in the learning objectives. These learning objectives should be measurable, should be observable, and specific, clearly stated. Next part is about learning objective, that it shows the appropriate content. Then means it will help us to create appropriate content. Then it will help. Once we decide the learning objective, it will help us to gather the material related to that. Then it will help to develop instructional strategies as pertaining to learning objectives. And also it will help us to design some activities, assessment as per the learning objectives which are previously stated. So this is about the learning objective, which is a part of our teaching framework. So till these slides, we have gone to teaching framework, that is first is a course goal, and that is course or program outcome and learning outcomes or learning objectives. Next part of teaching framework is active learning. What is active learning? See, we have learned through this specific lecture, classroom teaching. So this lecture or classroom teaching is a passive process. It is not that much helpful to retain the knowledge for longer time. So active learning is to student engage in something doing or thinking about what he has done. That is called as active learning. So knowledge gain in the classroom, it should be applied in form of some practical training, some clinical training. So this is called as a active learning. So specific activities are designed, and see what is gained in the classroom. Student practice that. Then he reflects over that. What has been done, he reflects over that. Then that what he has created, it is tested, and then it is discussed. So this all process develops higher thinking skills in the students. So this active learning helps to cultivate higher order thinking skills in the students along with collaborative learning. So this active learning process is very much important in teaching learning. In this active learning, which factors or which type of the activities can be taken? So we can include role plays while teaching, or we can include field visits. Previously, we have also included some field visit to our Davyaguna garden or any other manuscript center, anything. But now the focus is shifted, that the lecture schedule and practical learning, that is means practical learning or experiential learning or active learning hours are increased and lecture hours are reduced. So these field visit, role plays are part of active learning. Then project-based learning. We have to allot some project to the student, and that is also a part of active learning. Then we will tell them some case or some scenario, that say about the patient of Pratishaya, what history should be taken, what Vegadharan history should be taken, so which Vegadharana will cause this Pratishaya. Such type of problem-based, inquiry-based learning is incorporated in this active learning. Then again, flipped classroom method. What is flipped classroom method? Student has to prepare the topic. We have already given them planning, and NCISM is also academic planning. NCISM gives us, and accordingly we prepare advanced teaching planning. We distribute it to the students. Then as per the plan, we ask them to prepare before taking class, before conducting the class. So they have to go through that topic previously and they have to present that topic in the classroom. And by active learning, by participative learning, we have to tell them what is right, what is wrong, and what they have to add into that their topic content. So this is called as a flipped classroom method. Again is debates. As I have told you, विविध ज्ञानोपाय, अध्ययन, अध्यापन and तद्विद्य संभाषा. So Tadvidya Sambhasha also helps us to learning. So this debate should be conducted that includes student. So students are collaborator. They are co-producers of the knowledge along with us. So these debates can be arranged and that is a part of active learning. So what is learned to actively participating, it retains for long time. And what does student do during their course that impacts their process of learning? So this active learning is a major part of this teaching learning process. Then we have to ask them to prepare some concept map. Being a teacher of Samhita Siddhanta, I would like to give you more examples from Samhita Siddhanta, that in our Samhita Adhyayan 3 curriculum, there is one activity 17.4, that is comparative study of Charak and Sushrut regarding some concept like Rasayana Vajikaran. So in that, they have to compare what is there in Sushrut and what is there in Charaka, and they have to create visual map so that they can understand this concept deeply. So active learning helps us to understand concept deeply. They help students to analyze the information, synthesize the information, apply the information, and that impact lasts for a long time. So this is the importance of active learning, and that's why our curriculum is more that activities are more included in our curriculum. So before, these are the main how this active learning is helpful, and these are some main topics for active learning. But we have to prepare, plan before these activities to be conducted in the classroom or in the field during field visits. So what is required while conducting or before conducting these activities? That is, proper time planning should be there. Proper schedule planning should be there, because we have to complete this course within the stipulated time. Then we have to plan for resources. Proper resources which should be included, which resources are needed to conduct activity for model making. These resources we have to gather, search out for that, gather that resources. Then we have to plan it properly, that which step should be conducted prior to the next step. That specific planning should be there during this active conducting the class, means conducting the classes for active learning. That is not classes, that to guide the students for this active learning method. But this active learning method is having some limitations. We ask students to prepare this comparative, fulfill this comparative task, prepare it and present it in front of the class. But some students are very hesitant. So this student hesitation is a hindrance for this active learning. Then some students are solo learners. So they can't collaborate. So lack of collaboration is also one limitation. And during conducting these active activities, the time limit can exceed. So we have to be more careful towards these limitations and plan activities accordingly. So while uh, till this we have seen the teaching framework, that is course goals, then active learning, and next part of this teaching framework is assessment. Assessment in terms of our teaching learning method assessment and assessment of student also. So what we teach, collect information about that, collect information through feedbacks of the students, then review that information, what we have to what we have to adjust or what we have to reform during our teaching process. Then using that information, we have to improve our teaching learning process. So this is a continuous phenomena about assessment of our teaching process. So what is the purpose of this assessment? Assessment is different than evaluation. Evaluation is to assign some grades to that student. But this assessment process is little bit different. It is to identify performance of student and to give him feedback on which point he has to improve. Then to determine the particular student stage of development. How is he slow learner or is he advanced learner? If he is advanced learner, can we give some more information to him? That we have to determine. And this assessment is to know specific instructional needs of the students as per the topic. As per the topic, we can change the specific instructional needs, maybe in terms of activities, maybe in terms of experiential learning. Next is to identify any concept or procedure that needs to be retaught. See, if any topic, say Tantra Yukti, if it is not understood by many students, we have to change our teaching process and we have to retaught it. We have to again think for teaching. So to identify any concept or procedure that needs to be retaught, we have to assess that. And next assessment is to check overall effect of teaching learning program to improve and to change our teaching learning process. Next, about assessments we are conducting nowadays. We are conducting 9 formative assessments and 2 summative assessments. So what is the difference between formative and summative assessment? Let's go through that. So formative assessment is carried out throughout the program. So in first term, we are conducting 3 periodical assessments, second and third term also. So these formative assessments are carried out throughout the program that helps us to understand student learning process, and accordingly we can adjust our teaching strategies. So this is about formative assessment. And for summative assessment is conducted at the end of the semester or at the end of course. So nowadays we are conducting term end exams, 2 term end exam, and the end of course the summative assessment, it is overall assessment conducted by the university. So it is the summative assessment is to assess the overall performance of the students, and grades are assigned during these summative exams. So this is all about teaching framework, which is about teaching framework aligns course goal, that is course objectives, learning objectives, then active learning and assessments. Now we will move to science of teaching, Adhyapana Shastra, that is pedagogy. So first of all, let's see the difference between pedagogy and andragogy. Pedagogy term is derived from Greek word pediago, that is guiding youth. And andragogy is Greek, it is also developed from Greek word andros and goji, that is adult learning, guiding adult minds. So pedagogy is science of teaching in children. Andragogy is science of teaching in adults. We know that children, requirements or needs of children are different and adults' needs are different. So accordingly, we have to reframe our teaching. Science of teaching should be different in both. So in children, thinking and acting habits, we have to develop, we have to nurture them. And in adults, the thinking action, what they have to do, it is already determined, it is already developed one. So in children, thinking acting habits are developed. In children, education or science of teaching is teacher centered and it is subject or curriculum oriented. In adults, in opposite to that, this science of teaching is learner centered. It is learner centered. Why? Because these adults, they have gathered some experience throughout their life. So that can be a part of teaching. So andragogy is a learner center. It is a self-directed learning. Here we have to act as a facilitator rather than dictator or instructor. And andragogy is problem oriented or goal oriented because adults are more motivated as per their goals and as per their problems they want to learn. So this is the difference between pedagogy and andragogy. As we are dealing with adults, because after 12 students are entering in medical education, we are dealing with adults, so we have to follow andragogy rather than pedagogy. So this is a good picture that depicts difference between pedagogy. See here, pedagogy is a children's learning process. Here, one talking head is there and other children are just listening. They are passive learners. But in adult learning process, see, this process is two-way. So as per this, facilitator, teacher has to alter their or tailor their teaching process. So this is the difference between pedagogy and andragogy. Next is about principles of andragogy. What we have to implement or we have to teach or we have to adopt the science of teaching, that is andragogy. So what is the principle of andragogy? This andragogy term is coined by Knowles. So these all principles of andragogy are called as Knowles principle. So these are the 6 factors which are main or which are called as the principles of andragogy. What are these factors? These are self-concept, experiences, readiness, orientation, need to know by adults, and intrinsic motivation in the adults that should be considered while teaching to adults. So let's see this principle or let's go through these principles one by one. First is a self-concept. What is self-concept? About me. Adults are very much aware of about themselves. So they have changed into dependent personality of childhood to independent personality. So they are more self-directed. They have their control of learning. They can determine their or they can control their learning processes. So this self-concept is much more important in adults. So children are totally dependent, but adults are self-directed. Therefore, we have to change our teaching learning process accordingly. Next principle is role of experience. As I have stated earlier, that children, they don't have that much experience. So what we will teach, they will accept. But adults, they have some experience. They have, till that age, they have gathered some experiences. So based on that experiences, we can tap that experiences and we can build our teaching strategy accordingly. So they are reservoir of experiences, and that reservoir of experiences can be a learning resources. They can act as a learning resources and we can make use of it. So accordingly, we have to adjust our teaching learning process. The third principle of andragogy is the readiness to learn. We have experience. Many times we have experienced that children are not that much ready to learn. But as a part of developmental tasks, adults are very much interested in or they are very keen to learn something different. because of social roles of father, mother assigned to them, a teacher role assigned to them. See, we are adult learners in this situation and we are learning this teaching methodology. So some social roles are there, some life situations are there that will be motivation for them to learn. And we are always ready to learn something new. As Manisha Kothekar madam said that this CBDC program, we are adopting it and we are learning a lot. So this is a readiness to learn, and that is a principle of pedagogy, which is helpful in teaching learning process. Next is about orientation to learning. See, in children, that orientation is not that much. Extrinsic factors are there regarding their education or teaching learning process. But in adults, this orientation to learning is problem based. What is the problem? That I have to fill the government post. I have to fill a form for government post, and their Hindi is compulsory. For that, I have to go and attend some Hindi learning program, and so that problem based learning is a part of adults, and therefore we have to incorporate it as a part of our teaching learning process. Next principle of andragogy is need to know. Children are not that much aware why they are learning, but adults, they want to know that why I am learning this, what I am learning this, what part of this is helpful for me, what part of this learning process or this information is helpful in my life, and what are the benefits if I learn this, what are the benefits I will gain from this learning process. So need to know is a very crucial part in andragogy. I would like to share one experience when I was teaching student that where snana nishedh is stated, snanam ardita netrasya karnarogatisharishu admana pina sajena bhuktavassu cha garhitam. So bath is contraindicated in these conditions. So one student asked me, I'm wearing specs. Do I have to bath or not? So so they want to know whether I have to do it or not, and why it is contraindicated. So this need to know is there, and that is a crucial part of andragogy. Next is about intrinsic motivation. As I have stated, children are motivated externally. Their mother, father, they send them to school for education and everything. But adults are motivated from inside. What are the motivations? That is promotion, huh? Or something they want to develop themselves. That is internal motivation. That is internal motivation for them. They want to have some satisfaction in the life. They want to have some knowledge in the life for their development. So for their satisfaction. So this intrinsic motivation is a part of andragogy. And accordingly, we have to adjust or we have to reform our teaching learning process. So this is about andragogy, pedagogy, then teaching learning processes. And next, we will move on to the mechanism of learning. So what is mechanism of learning? Previously, it was proved that the brain development take up to a certain age of life, that is up to 6 years. But nowadays, it is not like that. So our brain adopts everything. So we are lifelong learners. Neuroplasticity is the process. What is that process? It is the brain's ability to change and adapt due to the experience. Due to experience. So that experience allows nerve cells to change or adjust. And learning is reflected in our brain by changes in the connection between brain cells. So that is neurons. Neuron is a functional unit. So this neuroplasticity, that is brain's ability to change and adapt, is divided into two parts. It is structural neuroplasticity and functional neuroplasticity. So under this mechanism of learning, we can understand how this adaptation or change takes place. So under structural neuroplasticity, what happens? Structural neuroplasticity is the ability of brain to change physically. To change physically the brain structure due to learning and experience. So learning or experience changes brain structure. How more neurons and synaptic connections are formed within learning, memory, and experience. This creates physical changes in the brain tissue. This physical changes in the brain tissue is called as structural neuroplasticity. And what is functional neuroplasticity? Synaptic remodeling following brain dysfunction or injury, where pre-existing neurons begin to die and new neurons form synaptic connections over the time to recover a lost function. That is called as a neuroplasticity, that is ability to change and adapt as per the experiences. So this mechanism of learning have some important mechanisms. These are called as key mechanisms. So key mechanisms of this learning are synaptogenesis or synaptogenesis. What is synaptogenesis? That is making connection between the two neurons. Synaptogenesis is a making connection between two neurons. Next is the long-term potentiation. What is long-term potentiation? So these connections are making more permanent. This process of making connections more permanent is called as long-term potentiation. Then myelination. We know that nerve cell have a sheet that is called as myelin. So myelination process of forming a specialized myelin membrane around the axon, and that is also important in this mechanism of learning. And next important factor is sleep. Good sleep is also a key mechanism that is useful for memory consolidation and learning. We have learned that nidrayattam sukham dukkham pushtikarsham balabalam rushata klibata jnanam adnyanam. That is, good sleep is helpful for jnana or memory consolidation and learning. So first we will move to synaptogenesis. What is synaptogenesis? The forming synapses between the nerve cells. It is stated that the cells which are activated together, they connect together. The good term is used. The cells which fire together are wired together. So these co-activated neurons form and strengthen the connection in between them, and that forms the basis of learning memory formation. Learning memory should be formed, and accordingly the changes will happen in the brain. So experience leads to activation of engram cell. It is a substrate of neurons or neural cells that is due to continuous physical and chemical changes in the nerves. It will lead to engram cell that causes structure and molecular changes that encodes the memory, and reactivation causes or leads to memory recall. So this is a mechanism of learning in the brain. Next is the long-term potentiation. It is the primary way that the brain learns, making neuronal connection or neural connections more permanent. It involves the process of synthesizing and creating proteins. So proteins are important here. The long-term potentiation can be triggered by specific pattern of activation. So specific patterns of activation should be there. So we have learned the Smruti, Nimitta, Rupa Grahana, Sadrushasya, Viparyat. Likewise, the specific pattern of activation should be there, and more frequency of experience leads to higher priority of consolidation. We know that abhyasa, bhava abhyasana, shilanam satata kriya. So this more frequency of experience leads to more consolidation of knowledge or teaching process, learning process. I like this picture. That's why I have included it in my presentation. Actually, source is from Wikipedia. And the next process and mechanism of learning involves myelination. We know that myelin is a sheet around neurons. So the nerve cells which are myelinated, their conduction velocity across the individual axon increases. So conduction velocity across individual axon increases in myelinated neuron. That makes connections more efficient. Less loss of energy takes place because this covering is insulated, and that draw on fewer resources. So this myelination process is very much important in the mechanism of learning. See this conduction process, how it is quick in these myelinated neurons. It is very much a good representation or a good figure from Wikipedia. Next is sleep. Mechanism of teaching learning includes key factor of that is sleep. What we have learned, jnanam ajnanam, nidratam jnanam ajnanam. So it is searched out that during sleep activity, patterns of neurons that is replayed in the brain. What is learned, it is replayed in brain, and that leads to memory consolidation. That replay not during sleep time, but that replay can take place during periods of wakeful rest also. So that's why we have to give brain rest for some time and then again start teaching. It is search out that 3/2 learning is very impactful in education process. What is 3/2 process? That what we have taught or what they have learned, they have to revise it 3 times with interruption of or break of 10 minutes. So that is very helpful in the teaching learning process. And also it is stated that more the frequency, how this replay takes place, how frequently this replay takes place in the brain, that also decides the memory, pattern of memory. So this is very important in teaching learning process. Now we will move to learner types. So we have gone to teaching learning processes, mechanism of teaching learning, teaching framework, types of then this pedagogy and andragogy, education definition. Now we have to move types of learners in education, whether it may be pedagogy or andragogy. So there are 8 types of learner, broadly 8 types of learner as per Gardner's theory, and that are constricted to 4 as according to WARC model. So what are these learner types? These are the specific styles of learner. Some are the oral, they can learn by hearing. Some are visual, they can learn by seeing or watching. Some are verbal, loud hearing is helpful for them. Some are logical, they want to find out the reason and they can learn through that. Some are the physical, some actions make them learn properly. Some are the social, they learn in the groups. Some are intrapersonal, they are solo learners, they don't need any help. And some are naturalistic, means some learners, when they go in the nature, they learn properly. So let's see these types of learners one by one. So first, oral or auditory learners, they like listening, speaking activities, learn from lectures and group discussions. They can remember how words are sounded. They understand better by reading out loud, and they are skilled at oral presentation. So we have to make use of these trains, and that accordingly we have to change the teaching strategies. But they are also having some challenges. They are not good at written test, while visual or special learners, they are having great memory after seeing the things, so they can notice the tiniest details and they can visualize the objects, but they need some equipments and tools while learning, and that we have to prepare, and that's why we have to well equip with these tools. Then some are the verbal or linguistics. They learn new words easily. They like reading and writing activities. They can summarize the topic quickly and briefly, but they are difficult in visualizing the things. Some are logical or mathematical. They like to understand the reason or logic behind it. They are good at numbers. They can analyze the problem logically, and they have strong problem solving skills. Therefore, problem solving uh, teaching strategies should be adopted in our teaching learning methodology. But they are not good in writing, they are not good in group discussion, and they can't answer intuitive questions. They can't answer questions intuitively. They have to think a lot, and then they analyze it and they answer it. Next is physical or kinesthetics. They use whole body part to understand the information. They have good motor memory, so they learn while doing something, and so they like role play. So for them, we have to develop some hands-on activities, some imitative games for kinesthetics learner or physical learners. Then some are social or interpersonal learners. They're best team workers, they're good group participants, they actively engage in discussions, dialogues, they like role plays, but they lack motivation without feedback. They need some appreciation from fellow mates. So they can't learn alone. That is the drawback back from them for them. Then next learner is intrapersonal or solitary learner, which is self-motivated, self-confident, self-analyzer. So challenge for him is he can't work in teams. And as it is stated by me, naturalistic learner can relate various objects from the nature, and from nature he learns. So the challenge for him is indoor learning activities. So our curriculum is a mixture of these, or it is designed as per the needs of these learners. And we have to also change our teaching learning types. Now, nowadays, popular model is a WARC model for learner types. What is WARC? It is abbreviated terms for visual, auditory, read or write, or kinesthetic learner. That is WARC. So what is visual learner? As I have told you, it is learn by seeing. Or for these learners, we have to prepare some charts, graphs, infographics. Some outline should be given to them. Then some visual aids should be designed for them. We have to make digital slides to teach them. For auditory learners, we have to use some podcasts. Then verbal instruction should be properly given. We have to arrange some discussions. We have to arrange some recordings for them. For read and write type of learners, we have to arrange or provide them list of books, some dictionaries. Then some note-taking practices should be inculcated in them. Assessment methods should be read, write, some assessment should be given to them. Then case studies should be assigned to them. And for kinesthetic learners, what is kinesthetic? They learn by doing. So we have to design some role plays. Then scenario training should be given to them, or hands-on training should be given to them. So WARC model is very popular. It has some limitation. It is not proper for some experts say that. So we have to adjust our teaching method as per topics also, as per demand of topic also. But this WARC model is very much adapted in the education field. Now let's move on CBD. CBD education in Ayurveda. What is CBD education? Competency based dynamic education in Ayurveda. National education policy came enforcement, means it is in 2020 it is implemented, and to align with sustainable development goal 4, we have to adopt this national educational policy. So in this national education policy, curriculum content is reduced to core essential. So what is unwanted, that is removed during this national educational policy. So rote memorization is changed into experiential and critical thinking, experiential learning and critical thinking, and that NEP also included multidisciplinary approach. to align with these changes, or to cope up with this national education policy, competency-based dynamic education implemented by NCSM during this 2021. So what is this? It provides structure approach with unified education framework. See, we are implementing this single framework across India. So it is unified education framework. It accentuates proficiency of skills in terms of clinical expertise. This clinical expertise is focused. So knowledge over time-based traditional education. So clinical experience is given importance in this CBDC curriculum. It emphasizes outcome-focused approach. Outcome-focused approach. What is student able to, or what is it is expected to learn from the student during conducting this course. So this emphasis is given, that is outcome focused approach is emphasizes during this curriculum. And what is dynamic? Competency based dynamic. What is dynamic? It incorporates changes as per the feedback that makes it progressive. So see, what we have seen that it is a two-way process. We teach, we take feedback, we get feedback from the students, and we alter or modify our teaching learning method as per that. So this by incorporating that changes. So the dynamic indicates incorporation of changes as per the feedback and making it progressive. CBDC competency-based dynamic curriculum in Ayurveda, it is properly designed and curriculum is handed over to us. It contains course outcome or program outcomes. We all have gone through user manual where program outcomes are properly mentioned. Then in our particular subject curriculum, we have gone through learning outcomes, and the CO and PO, program outcomes and learning of course learning outcomes, are also properly matched. So this CBDC is covering all the pedagogical approaches like reflective learning, integrative learning. We are having integrative lectures, horizontal integrative lectures. See, in Samvita Adhyan 3, we are having integrative lecture with Panchakarma regarding importance of Basti. And we have also having integrative lecture with Dabya Guna for Kalpasthana Dravya. Then it includes inquiry-based learning. It also includes constructive approach. Many of the curriculum points include model making, or activities include model making. Then collaborative, some group activities, some activities or practical works uses collaborative working. So this is a part of CBDC in Ayurveda. So in this CBDC, incorporation of NLHT, non-lecture hours theory, and NLHP, non-lecture hours practical, so are means non-lecture hours for practical are included more than mere lecture hours. This shows the pedagogical approach is shifted from teacher center to the learner center or student center. And this curriculum is as per the needs of all types of learners. We have seen VAR, visual, oral, read, write, and kinesthetic learners. So model making, some practicals doing, some activities doing, all things are included in this curriculum. This curriculum also provides self-paced learning in the forms of electives. Electives are also included in this, and that adapt to the knowledge needed to overcome the global health challenges. So I have included a screenshot of one elective course, that is Introduction to Epidemiology. So these are helpful to overcome global health challenges. Then proper use of technology advancements to meet evolving societal expectations are also included in this CBDC curriculum. It is a perfect blend of traditional knowledge and modern assessment methods like OSCE, OSPI, everything. So Shlok recitation also there, and some hands-on activities are also there. It includes continuous formative and summative assessment that denotes constant engagement of students and improvements as per the feedback. And it aims to produce physicians fit to practice rather than students fit to pass. And that is a specialty of this CBDC in Ayurveda. And now, our role, we have to change our role. As our president madam said that we have to change our attitude also. We have to adopt this change. This paradigm shift demands change in teachers also. We have to change ourselves from educator or knowledge transmitter to learning facilitator, qualitative education to context sensitive perspective. We have to adapt. We have moved on from Gurukul system to Kulaguru system. Now we have to move from Gurukul to Pranayetu. We have to change ourselves. We have to accept change. We have to create environment for this dynamic learning, competency based dynamic learning. I like this picture. See, previously it is one head, one talking head. So it is the sage on stage approach, and now it is learner or facilitator along our side. Okay, learner alongside. So we are also learning with them, and the students are co-producer of knowledge in this learning system. So we are here to nurture autonomous and lifelong learning habits in our students, to make them well equipped with critical thinking, adaptability, and self-learning abilities. So we have to adopt scaffolded approach. Means we have to support them till they grow up, till they learn everything. That approach should be followed by us. For that, we have to listen actively, we have to learn with them openly, and accordingly, we have to adapt or alter our teaching methods. So here, facilitator should be collaborative, engage in collaborative teaching. So we have to involve student in teamwork, problem solving methods, and we have to develop their interpersonal skills by group activities. And we have to uh, integrate the technology, latest developed technology we have to integrate in our teaching learning process. Our teaching learning process should be inquiry based, and we have to promote more and more active participation of students. So these are some examples of active participation by our student from our college. So this comparative study, they search through Sushu Samhita, Charak Samhita. We have make this WhatsApp group, and where they post their activity, and some feedbacks are given there, and they reform their activities accordingly. This is the part of facilitator in this education system. So now this is time to reconcile with the change that involves students, ask them open-ended question, encourage their critical thinking, encourage them to present their ideas for model making, etc. State them real world problems, state them some studies, like while teaching Langam Ruhani Adhyay, we have to state them problem they are facing obesity, hypertension, these lifestyle diseases. We have to teach them accordingly. So we are progressing towards the transformation, and here are some evidences. So this is a good video where students are actively participated through dumb charades. So this is Dr. Jaya Jane madam, and this is dumb charades where adhyayas, name of the adhyayas, are depicted through active learning. And we can plan accordingly. And here is a role play from our college, Charikriya department, related to Vata Prakruti. Sorry, it is not opening, but you can click on this link and see. So we are progressing towards this change. We are adopting this. See, this is video related to the Vata Prakruti role play by our college students. And thank you to Charikriya department for providing this video to me. You can watch this video afterwards. Such type of methods can be developed and adapted in our teaching learning process. So this is all about
चालू असतो राजकीचा या पंचभौतिक शरीरात प्रकृतीने
So this is about
प्रकृतीने
teaching learning process,
स्वभाव निर्मिती आणि निसर्गार्थ खेळ आहे
and
वाद
here are some references.
यांचा जगात खेळ आहे वाद पित्त कफ यांचा जगात चला तर बघूया तत्र वृक्षल वाता आणि नाद.
Some references where we can gain more insights about this topic. This is all about principle of teaching learning. Thank you. Thank you very much for patient listening. And thank you all. Thank you especially principal of my college, Dr. Agni Patil Madam, for her encouragement. And thank you all participants. Thank you. I have finished from my side. Over to you, sir. Hello.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam.
Yes, ma'am.
There are a couple of hand raises, Shubham, if you can take.
Yes, sir, we can. Dr. G.D. Rudresh.
Dr. G.D. Rudresh, you can unmute yourself and ask the question. Shubhamji, you can go to next.
Dr. G.D. Rudresh, you can unmute yourself. Dr. G.D. Rudresh.
You can go to the next. Dr. Navodaya Raju is there. Dr. Vanita Chaugale is there. And there is
Dr.
another.
Navodaya.
Ah.
Dr. Navodaya Raju. Yes, ma'am, you can raise.
Hello, Namaste sir. Namaste ma'am.
Yes, sir, you are audible. Raise your query.
You ask the question.
Namaste ma'am. Ma'am, Dr. Navodaya Raju. I am from Guru Gorakshnath Institute of Medical Sciences, Gorakhpur, sir. My question is, in organizing this kind of activities inside the classroom, generally few students will be
Excuse me,
showing
sir.
interest
Excuse me,
and-
sir.
Yes,
You are
ma'am.
not audible. Hello.
Madam, you can stop sharing.
Yes, sir.
I am audible to you, sir.
Yeah, you're audible.
Yeah. Madam, Namaste madam. I am audible to you, ma'am.
You are audible, sir. Raise your
Yeah.
query.
Sir, in generally conducting this kind of student-centric activities inside the classroom, we will be facing kind of difficulty because there are 100 students inside the classroom, and out of those 100, few will be interested and few will not be interested in such kind of activities. So, how to tackle such issues inside the classroom? Can you please guide us, ma'am?
Hello.
Yes.
Yes.
Hello.
You are audible, ma'am. Yes.
Yes. Participants are requested to mute their mics. Please mute your mics. Hello. Raju sir, you are right. The class of 100 students. Hello. Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are
Sir,
audible.
sir, can you mute from your side?
Ma'am, all the mics are muted only.
But still some disturbance is there. Hello.
It's from your end
Hello,
only,
Raju
ma'am.
sir. You are right.
It's from your end, ma'am.
It is very difficult to address one-to-one problems in a class of 100 students. But at least the student can come up with their problems and we can address them. We can adjust our teaching learning style as per the need of maximum students, sir. Hope I have answered your query.
Thank you, ma'am. Dr.
Hello.
G.D. Rudresh. Dr. G.D. Rudresh. Whoever he is, please mute your mic. It is muted from my end. Is there
Hello.
anyone behind you, ma'am? Maybe they are.
No. No one is there.
Okay. Dr. Vanita. Dr. Vanita.
Dr. Vanita, ask your question. Unmute yourself and ask the question.
Hello.
Yes, ma'am, you are audible.
Sir. Good afternoon, sir. And lecture is very nice conducted by madam. Just I want to ask, in 1 hour lecture, there are number.
Hello. Ma'am, I am not getting you.
That teaching learning method and assessment, or
Hello.
we choice according to us. Hello.
Ma'am, I am not getting you.
मैडम अभी वो सिलेबस का हमको दिया है ना पीडीएफ
हाँ।
में टीचिंग लर्निंग मेथड भी फॉर
उसमें
वन
दिए
टॉपिक
भी।
हाँ पीपीटी भी रहता है उसमें
Yes.
वीडियो क्लिप भी रहता है मतलब द्रव्य गुण के हिसाब से अगर ज्योतिषमती पढ़ाना चाहे और हमारे गार्डन में नहीं है तो आई वांट टू शो द वीडियो क्लिप आल्सो फॉर मॉर्फोलॉजी एंड आई आल्सो गिव पीपीटी एंड देयर आर असेसमेंट मेथड्स आर मोर देन 2 to 3. So it is necessary to conduct all that teaching learning method and all the assessment given in the PDF, or we can go according to our own side.
Yeah, as per the time constraint, you can adopt whatever is good for your students.
मतलब हम एक भी उसको कंडक्ट कर सकते हैं भी
What assessment? Not
ऐसे
us.
टीचिंग लर्निंग मेथड भी 2 to 3 4 ऐसे दिया है ना उसमें
हाँ,
एक टॉपिक के लिए
हाँ।
मतलब एक टॉपिक अगर मैंने सिलेक्ट किया गुरुजी तो उसमें पीपीटी भी है
हाँ।
वीडियो क्लिप भी रहता है ग्रुप डिस्कशन भी रहता है तो वो सारे के सारे कंडक्ट करने चाहिए क्या क्या एक भी ले सकते हैं उसमें से
As per needs, you have to conduct that. See,
Okay.
during your presentation, you can include some video related to Guruji. So
हाँ
as per
मतलब
the
मैडम
time
क्या
and
रहता
as
है
per the students'
हाँ
need, you can decide. But it's
यस
better
यस
to include all these.
मतलब क्या रहता है पीपीटी फ्लिप्ड क्लासरूम और वीडियो क्लिप ये सब एक लेक्चर में नहीं कर सकते ना
नहीं कर सकते. So flip classroom method can be there, ना?
हाँ तो वही पूछना था कि एक कर सकते हैं मतलब क्या उसको ऑल करना कंपलसरी है ऐसे मेरा क्वेश्चन था
That you decide as per the topic need and your students' requirement, ma'am.
हाँ
But
हाँ वही मेरा कंफ्यूजन था
फ्लिप क्लासरूम मेथड आप अडॉप्ट करके ये बाकी के भी उसमें इनकलकेट कर सकते हो, इंक्लूड कर सकते हो.
हाँ हाँ वही थोड़ा मेरा कंफ्यूजन वो सिलेबस का पीडीएफ में से ही थोड़ा था कंफ्यूजन मेरा यही था और असेसमेंट का भी ओबीटी भी दिया है उधर वाइवा भी दिया है ओरल क्विज भी दिया है तो यही कंसर्न है मेरा कि
या अगर आपको असेसमेंट करना हो उस टॉपिक पे तो आप किस तरीके से कंडक्ट कर सकते हो वो मेथड उसमें दी है मैम.
नहीं लेकिन एक ओबीटी ले सकते हैं या तो ओरल क्विज ले सकते हैं ऐसे कर सकते हैं क्या वो सब लेना है ये मेरा कंफ्यूजन है उसके लिए
So that part is covered in next subsequent lectures, ma'am.
ओके ओके मैम
इसमें डिटेल में वो बताया जाएगा आपको. ये
ठीक
जस्ट
है मैम
इंट्रोडक्टरी था.
ठीक है मैम थैंक यू
Thank you so much, ma'am. Dr. Sriram Chandra Mishra. Please unmute yourself, sir, and raise your query.
नमस्कार सर, मैं प्रोफेसर श्री रामचंद्र मिश्रा वैद्य जगदीश शर्मा आयुर्वेद महाविद्यालय खुर्जा से।
जी
मेरा सर क्वेश्चन है जो सिलेबस में आईसीडी 11 का कोड दिया गया है इंटरनेशनल क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ डिजीज 11 का जो कोड दिया गया है और हमारे आयुर्वेद में जो डिजीज है वो दोनों लिंक नहीं हो रहे हैं उसको जब एलोपैथ उसका ढूंढ रहे हैं उस लिंक नहीं हो रहा है। और सेकंड क्वेश्चन ये हो रहा है कि सर जो कोर्स दिया है 1 घंटे में एक लेक्चर में उसमें 2-3 डिजीज को मिला के दे दिया गया है जैसे गुलियन बेरी सिंड्रोम मैस्टेनिया ग्रेव्स वो 1 घंटे में कंप्लीट हो नहीं पाता है कैसे पढ़ाएंगे सर?
Yes, sir. You are right. You are right. The content is too much vast and the time is very stipulated. It is very difficult to cover that content in that stipulated time. I agree with you, sir.
Just to put forth few views here, sir, the content is vast and it is to be covered, and our students are adult learners and they are self-directed learners. So we can allow them or we can motivate them to come having read to have a meaningful discussion in that period so that everything can be learnt in a better way. And regarding your ICD 11 is already included and is inclusive of Ayurveda morbidity codes also. It is also available, sir. Shubham sir.
Yes, sir. We can take next query.
We will take one question, and I request remaining participants to post their questions in the YouTube link. We will pick all the questions from the YouTube and will answer, not try. I promise that we will answer all the questions at the after the this conclusion of these 3-day activities, because it is 3:30 and we have one more session to go ahead.
Shall we need to take next queries, or we will?
One we will take, sir. One will take.
Okay. Dr. Srinivas Kumar, please raise your queries. Dr. Srinivas Kumar, please unmute yourself. Next.
Good afternoon to all of you, sir.
Ji, sir.
Sir, a short answer question is, sir. Sir, actually, CBDC curriculum में एक theory part है और non-lecture practical part है, उसके बाद practical part भी है. लेकिन अभी मैं फाइनल ईयर में डील करता हूँ श्रेय तंत्र, उसका एक सब्जेक्ट एक क्लास थियरी में बता दिया, तो प्रैक्टिकल में दिखाने के लिए हॉस्पिटल गया तो उस टाइम पर उस पेशेंट नहीं आता, कोई दूसरा पेशेंट आता है जो टर्म 2 सिलेबस है. जब मैं टर्म 1 सिलेबस की पढ़ाई करता हूँ, सो उस टाइम पर हम क्या करेंगे, वो पेशेंट को नहीं दिखा सकते, जो पेशेंट हमारे पास है वो भी नहीं पढ़ा सकते हैं, क्या करेंगे सर? हेलो
Sir, this is a dynamic curriculum. The CBDC में D stands for dynamism, sir. So we will go ahead with our theory curriculum as per that, but accordingly, as per the availability of the patient, the clinical training will also be occurring. So just because on that day you have covered one disease and that patient is not there, doesn't mean that learning will be stopped. So any other disease, any other patient that is there, that can be handled in non-NLH activity. That's how it should be going, sir. That's why this curriculum is flexible enough. This allows you to include and frame as per your need. Everything is decided by the objective of the session. So that flexibility, that liberty is there for you as a teacher.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. Shall we move to next lecture?
Yes, we'll move.
Yeah, we shall move on to the next
Thank you.
session.
Thank you, everyone. You may post your queries on YouTube link, and soon we will open the chat box and you can put your queries there. So accordingly, we will revert to you. Over to you, ma'am.
Tripti, madam.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am, Dr. Yogita Jamdade, ma'am, for enlightening us with the teaching frameworks, different mechanism of learning, and other aspects of adult learning with a different example. Thank you so much, ma'am. So we shall move on to the second session of day 1, that is educational domains and curriculum overview by Dr. Department of Vidyalaya, Akola, Maharashtra. Here it's a small intro of Madhumati ma'am. Dr. Madhumati ma'am is a PG coordinator, worked as HSET expert for Padartha Vijnanam, also contributed as HSET expert for PG curriculum reforms. She has an academic experience of more than 20 years, authored for the book Textbook of Padartha Vijnanam, PG guide for more than 20 students, guide for 3 Spark awardee. Let's hear our eminent speaker now. Over to you, ma'am. Dr. Madhumati ma'am.
Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible.
Yeah. So the topic of my this session is educational domains and curriculum overview. So respected Kotekar ma'am, respected Alam Prabhu sir, and respected dignitaries and respected faculties, and my dear friends, warm regards from my side. Myself, Vaidya Madhumati Navkar, I am HOD of the Department of Ayurveda Sumita Siddhanta from Akola. So my previous facilitator has briefly given you the idea about this CBDC framework, and now let's move to the some minute details about this. So how the teaching framework is implemented in the curriculum reforms is my main aim. The learning objectives of this session are to comprehend the new curriculum. Then the second learning objective for this session is, after this session, the participants will be able to describe learning domains. They will be able to identify the components of learning objectives. They will be able to prepare smart learning objectives. The participants will be able to classify objectives using Bloom's taxonomy. They will be able to explain curriculum basics, that is must know, nice to know, and also Miller's pyramid. They will be able to appreciate significance of lesson planning, and they will be able to differentiate micro planning versus macro planning. So moving to the next part. Move nahi hota hai. Yeah. That's one again. The curriculum policy. One sec, ma'am. So what is the curriculum? The curriculum is the roadmap for educators to achieve specific educational goals. And the key elements of the curriculum are, there are four key elements, that is objectives means what to learn. Then the contents or the subject, that is what is to be taught. Then the experience or method, that how to engage the students in learning process. And last is evaluation, how success is measured. So all these parts are the essential parts of the curriculum. Our curriculum, this new curriculum or this reform is outcome-based education. What is outcome-based education? It is like a plan of architect, which shows the image of how your house will look or how the building will look, and as well as it provides a blueprint of the house and on which we have to work. So all these things are included in our curriculum. So these are the outcome-based education. So firstly, the program outcomes are formulated, then the course outcomes are formulated, and then the learning objectives are formulated. So when we see the contents of the curriculum, you all must have gone through the course curriculum, your course curriculum. This is just a revision for them, and some new teachers are joined. For them, this will be a new topic. Let's revise that what are the contents of the curriculum. There are 6 tables you will see in the curriculum. The table 1 is course learning outcomes and map POs. Table 2 is content of the course. Table 3 is learning objectives of the course. Table 4 is NLH activities. Table 5 is list of practicals. Table 6 is assessment summary. And lastly, there are references, books, resources. So let's see one by one. In my presentation, we will be discussing up to the table 3, and table 4 and next things will be covered in the next following sessions. So firstly, let's understand what are the program outcomes. So program learning outcomes are the specific statements that articulate what students should achieve by the time they complete the program of the study. So remember, BMS is a program, or a BUMS is a program. Or for Siddha medicine, those who are seeking Siddha medicine, BSMS is a program. PLOs reflect essential knowledge, skill, and attitude relevant to particular field. They guide the curriculum design by outlining the program's intended outcomes. So these program outcomes are the images how our graduate should be. What are the qualities he or she should possess? So these are the examples of some program outcomes. We will just go through some of them. For Ayurveda, there are 9 program outcomes identified. The first PO says the student should be able to, or the graduate should be able to demonstrate comprehensive knowledge and application of Three Sutra concept, to explore the root causes, identify clinical manifestation of disease, to treat ailments and maintain healthy status. Similarly, PO2 states that at the end of the BMS program, the student will be able to demonstrate knowledge and skills in Ayurveda acquired through integration of multidisciplinary perspective and keen observation of clinical and practical experience. Similarly, when we move to the PO7, it shows demonstrate self-directedness in pursuit of knowledge and skills, which is required for advancing healthcare and well-being of society. PO9 states, demonstrate an understanding of qualities and required skills as a practitioner, researcher, academician, and an aspiration to become one. These are the POs from Unani or for the UMS faculty. The PO1 says that the student should be able to, after completion of UMS, appraise the basic principles of Unani medicine, Kuliyat Itibba, which are important in maintaining tabiyat, and apply them to a wider variety of clinical and research contexts, keeping in view of national health priorities. Moving to PO3, the student should be able to demonstrate ability to manage roles, responsibilities, and expertise of the health professionals, able to work in teams to deliver healthcare services, engage in meaningful public discourse with profound awareness of community needs. These are the 8 POs for Unani. Moving to the Siddha POs. PO1 states that after completion of BSMS, the student should be able to demonstrate the skills of a physician, surgeon in Siddha medicine, along with the knowledge of contemporary advances in the field of Siddha. PO2 states that the student should be able to showcase disease management with divine treatment, with rational treatment, and Siddha surgical treatment. Similarly, there are 12 POs for Siddha medicine. So we can see that all the faculties, every faculty sees his graduate not only as a good clinician, but as a good researcher, good academician, and also a good human being. These are the program outcomes, that is broader goals. Now moving to the course outcomes. So course outcomes are detailed objectives for individual courses within the program. So every program has various courses. All the subjects taught under that program are the different courses. So this course outcomes, what they do, they break down the broader PLOs into the specific measurable statements that define what students should be able to do after completing a particular course. For example, I am a faculty from Ayurveda Samhita Siddhanta. So I am working for the program BMS, and I am a facilitator for the course of Padartha Vigyan for the BMS program. Now I hope it is clear that what is the basic difference between program and a course. So here example from our curriculum, that is some course outcomes of the Rasa Shastra Evam Bhaishajya Kalpana subject. So here the course code is IUUGRB, that is this is for UG and this is for Rasa Shastra and Bhaishajya Kalpana. Now we will see the course learning outcomes for this. Then after the end of this course, means after completion of Rasa Shastra and Bhaishajya Kalpana, the student should be able to demonstrate applications of principles of Ayurveda Aushadhi Nirman, that is Ayurveda pharmaceutics. Then course outcome 2 states that students should be able to demonstrate applications of principles of Ayurveda Aushadhi Prayoga Vignan, that is clinical pharmacology. Course outcome 3 state that students should be able to prepare Ayurvedic formulations in adherence to quality control parameters for raw materials in process and finished product. We'll move to the course outcome 6. It says that the student should be able to appraise research in current and emerging trend in Ayurvedic pharmaceuticals and allied sciences. And you can see in column B1 that course learning outcomes are matched with program learning outcome. So this course learning outcome 6 states is mapped with the PO7 and PO9. Let's see how it is done. See, when CO6 says that the student should be able to appraise research in current and emerging trend in Ayurvedic pharmaceuticals and allied sciences. Here contemporary science knowledge should be there. Again, that student should be aware of the current researches also. So this is directly mapped with the PO7, which states that which shows self-directedness in pursuit of knowledge and skills, which is required for advancing healthcare and well-being of the society. So contemporary knowledge is necessary for this PO7, and PO9 states that understanding of qualities and required skills as a practitioner, researcher, and academician. For that also you need to be updated. So this CO6 is mapped with PO7 and PO9. I hope it is clear to you. Now you have come across this page also. This page is summary. This summary, in this summary page, name of degree is mentioned, subject and subject code is mentioned, teaching hours are mentioned, the division of teaching hours into LH and NLH is mentioned, division of NLH, that is non-lecture hours, into theory and practical is mentioned, and division of marks into theory and practical components is also mentioned. So here, for example, I have taken from Unani. This is for second professional. And this subject is Ilmul Saidla wa Murakkabat, that is Unani pharmacy and compound drugs. So here in summary, you can see that there are 120 lectures for paper 1 and paper 2. Like those are LH hours, and there are 200 NLH hours. And these 200 NLH hours are distributed as 60 hours for theory, NLH theory, and 140 hours for NLH practical. Similarly, for examination marks distribution, for paper 1, theory component 100 marks, for paper 2, theory component 100 marks, total 200 marks, and for practical, 100 marks practical, 30 marks Viva, and internal assessment for 20 marks, making it 150. Thus, this is the summary page. Then LH and NLH. In details, you will be discussing this in next lectures. But here, I just want to say that LH are something more didactic ones, where some parts are there that students are very new to that concept. At that time, we have to teach them didactically. So that is lecture hours. But maximum times we have to engage our students, as our students are adult learners. So for them, non-lecture hours play a vital role, and non-lecture hours are again divided as in activities and as practicals. You will say that our curriculum reform shows LH and NLH ratio as 1:2. That is, more NLH are incorporated in our curriculum. So the next is table 2. Table 2 is actually contents of the course. It is the gross division of marks and topics and term-wise distribution of topics, along with schedule LH and NLH for it. So in short, you will be seeing that what to teach in what term and how much marks are given for that in table 2. Previously, our syllabus was more concise up to table 2 only. But this syllabus offers table 3 as its essence, I will say, that it is the essence of your course curriculum. This is the most important part for us to comprehend. That's table 3 states, first A3 states course outcome, then B3, there are learning objectives that at the end of the session, the student should be able to do what kind of activities they should be able to do are mentioned under B3. Then C3 explains the domains and subdomains. Then D3 explains must to know, desirable to know, or nice to know. That topic comes under which category. Then E3 is the level that is from Miller's pyramid. That is whether the student should know up to know level, or knows how level, or shows how level, or does level. Then F3, there are TL methods mentioned. G3, assessment methods mentioned. H3, formative, whether this part is for formative exam or for summative exam. I3, there are mentions of which term we have to teach that part. And J3 is regarding integration. So table 3 is very important part for our planning. Before moving to the explanation of C3 and E3, I here just want to recap on that must know are the essential competencies that every student should master. And desirable to know and nice to know are the complementary informations or advanced concepts which deepens the student's understanding. Now, the most important part is what are the domains which are mentioned in the column 3, C3. So these domains are based on Bloom's taxonomy. Bloom was an educational psychologist, and he has given the classification of educational goals and objectives. His intent was to develop a method of classification for thinking behaviors that were believed to be important in the process of learning. And eventually, this framework became the taxonomy of 3 domains. These 3 domains are, when we are working on the student, the educator is nurturing the learner at 3 tiers. We are developing his brain, his hand, and his heart also. So these are the three competencies which are addressed in our curriculum. These three competencies are knowledge, skill, and attitude. That is, knowledge is related to brain, hand represents skills, and heart represents your behavior or attitude of the student. Then for the next table, Miller's pyramid is shown. So this framework is designed by the psychologist George Miller to assess clinical competencies in healthcare education. So this Miller's pyramid is important in healthcare education. So here the nose is the basic level where learners recalls the basic facts or fundamental facts. Then a little more when the knowledge is gained by the learner, knows how that learner can apply the knowledge and interpret the data. Shows is the when the learner can demonstrate the skills in the controlled environment under the supervision, then that is shows her. And when the student is actually perform in real clinical setting, the action is does. So we can see that the person can get professional authenticity from a novice to expert, and we can judge through this Miller's pyramid. So again, we have seen at many times in our curriculum that in front of that domain, it is written CK or CC or CAP. So what does that mean? So these domains have subdomains. These subdomains, we can see that the cognitive domain has the levels from remembering to creating. That is remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. The psychomotor domain raises its state from imitation to naturalization. That is imitation, manipulation, precision, articulation, and naturalization. And affective domain, that is related to the behavior of the student, that has the phenomena from receiving to the internalizing the values. Let's see this one by one. So cognitive domain level, the very basic level of the cognitive domain, which is addressed as CK in your curriculum, states that it is a foundational understanding of facts, concepts, and information. It is recalling specific details, definitions, and essential terms. It is showcasing the ability to remember and recognize information. Then after knowledge, the second level is CC, that is cognitive comprehension. Here it means that student is able to grasp the meaning of information, rephrase it in their own words, and interpret. They are able to demonstrate understanding by explaining the concept, summarizing the content, and they are able to translate the complex ideas into the simple term. This level is comprehension. Then the subdomain of cognitive domain, third, is application. You can see it, it's CAP in your curriculum. This is using learned knowledge to solve practical problems or perform specific tasks. It involves applying principles, concepts, or methods in real-world scenarios and demonstrating the ability to transfer theoretical understanding into the practical use. When this has happened, the knowledge address, the domain is addressed as a cognitive application. Then another higher domain is cognitive analysis. The student is able to break down the complex ideas into smaller parts, identifying patterns, relationships, and causes. It delves deeper into the information, evaluating components, recognizing connections between the various elements. Then above that, the domain, the subdomain is synthesis. So in the synthesis, the student is able to combine separate elements or concepts to form a new cohesive whole concept, create an original interpretation, develop new ideas, generate solutions by integrating different pieces of information. And the last or supreme cognitive domain subdomain is evaluation. That the judgments and assessment about the value, validity, or quality of information, a student is able to critically analyze and compare ideas, weigh evidences, and student is able to form reasoned conclusions based on the established criteria. Let's understand these subdomains with the example. See, for example, I have taken the concept of Tridosha. Tridosha Siddhanta is a very important concept in Ayurveda. So very first level, when we say see knowledge, the our verb will be, or our competency expectation will be, the student should be enlist the doshas and its subtypes. That is just for remembering or recalling the things. When the student learns more about dosha, then he should be able to summarize qualities and functions of the dosha. Now here the CC, that is cognitive comprehension level, is addressed. When the proficiency increases, then we can say that C application, that student is able to discuss the Prakriti analysis on the basis of doshas. Now student is able to understand what doshas are, how Prakriti is formed with the doshas, and which characters are prominent in making the Prakriti, or how to analyze the signs and symptoms of Prakriti through doshic knowledge. So that is application of the dosha siddhanta. Then at the level of analysis, the student is able to analyze the ansha kalpana, that is micro level of vitiated dosha in the given case. Here student should be in detail, should understand that what are the doshic components involved, how they are, how the etiopathogenesis has happened, and what are the qualities and what are the causative factors which are vitiating these doshas in the given case, and so that he can connect the dots and analyze it. Then C synthesis is a higher cognitive domain, and here I have taken the example that the student should be able to elaborate the effect of screen use or social media use on the dosha. See, in this social media use or the screen is a new concept, and we need to develop it by integrating different pieces of information. And this for this synthesis level, need of critical thinking is very necessary. So we can see these types of domains are addressed in mainly PG levels. Then the C evaluation is the last supreme level for the cognitive domain. Here I have taken the example that if the student is able to develop the scale for diagnosing the doshic imbalance, here the evaluation level we can see that he should know thoroughly the concept of dosha, how to assess, how to check for what is the normalcy for it, what is the abnormalcy for it, and whole things are necessary whenever he is doing this task. So this is the highest level for cognitive domain. So examples from cognitive domain from your syllabus. See, this is a fundamental of Dravya Guna. We can see here that define Dravya Guna Vidyan. The domain and subdomain is CK, that is just cognitive and knowledge domain is addressed over there. This part is for must know, that every student should know that. And the level from Miller's pyramid is knows. The second is explain the role of Dravya Guna Vidyan in clinical practice. Here comprehension is more expected. The student should be able to explain it. So this is addressed as CC, that is cognitive comprehension. And this part is must know again. And here the Miller's pyramid level shows knows how, that student should be able to know how this role is played by the Dravya Guna Vidyan. This is example from Siddha. This is again taxonomy of angiosperm topic. Classify the plants by habit, habitat, lifespan, and morphology. Here, CC, that is cognitive comprehension, is expected, but this part is for desirable to know. And here again, for Miller's pyramid, knows how level is addressed. Similarly, connect and correlate the landscapes and elements. Now here, the student should be knowing thoroughly about the landscapes and elements, and so that he can process that and he can analyze that. So the level addressed over here, or the subdomain addressed over here, is cognitive analysis. So it is written as can, and this part is again must know, and level in Miller's pyramid is knows how. This is example from Unani, preventive care and of vulnerable population. So the learning objective states that recognize various health problems of Naumalwood, that is infants. So this is again a level, basic level, that is CK, that is cognitive knowledge. But this part is must know, and again in Miller's pyramid, a very basic level, that is knows. The next thing is that categorize the low birth weight infant, that is preterm babies or small for dead babies, and identify its risk factors to reduce the incidence by direct intervention measures, Apgar score. This is for Cognitive comprehension level, this is for nice to know, and again knows how level is expected for this example. Now moving to the psychomotor domain. So again, as we have seen for cognitive domain, there are sub levels. Again, for psychomotor domains also, there are 7 sub levels, subdomains. The very basic step is perception. That means for psychomotor domain addresses the skill of the student. So the first thing is, skills are of many types. Even riding a bicycle is a skill. So many times what happens, firstly, perception is important. That is being aware of and recognizing the stimuli. And perception is a foundational level where individuals start to notice and identify the relevant clues. Then next to that is psychomotor set level. Here, the student is mentally preparing oneself to execute a special physical action. He's getting ready and understanding what needs to be done. After that, the level is guided response. That student follows the instruction and performs the task under the guidance or supervision. The student demonstrates basic motor skills based on the clear directions. Then next to that is mechanism. That is here the performing task with improved coordination and efficiency. The student gains better control over the movements and action. Next to that is COR, that is complex overt response. Here executing intricate and coordinated actions with smoothness and precision. When precision is there, COR level is achieved. And this is step beyond basic mechanics, indicating a higher level of proficiency. Further, higher level is adaptation, that is modifying movements and responses based on the changing conditions on unexpected situations. Here, student displays flexibility and ability to adjust their actions. And last, the supreme level of psychomotor domain is origination is the highest level. Ability to create new movements, new techniques or approaches, innovate, improvise, and develop novel solutions is the origination. For example, let's see taking BP through sphygmomanometer. So for us, taking BP through sphygmomanometer has become a naturalized process for us. We don't need something special for this, but just remember the day 1 of your professional course and just recall the process. So that is the level when we use our psychomotor domain levels. So for first, the student, when the student comes and he knows that he wants to check the BP, he wants to learn how to check the BP. First, he is trying to notice the clues, how the teacher is putting the cuff, how he's pressing the bulb. So this is noticing the clues is the first basic level, that is perception. Then the next level for psychomotor is set. That student is getting ready that, yeah, I will do this. And now he has a little confidence that he can do. So that is the level of set. Then third level is guided response. The student follows the instruction, how to tie that cuff, how to press the bulb, how to raise the mercury in the sphygmomanometer, how to keep the stethoscope, how to hear the sounds. So this is the student follows and tries to gain expertise in that. Then in mechanism, he is now able to perform. But every time he is able to perform or he is able to take BP, but still he needs he is able to perform. And in the COR, the precision is there. That means whenever there are so many noises, distracting noises also are there, the student is able to take BP, or when the patient is not in non-cooperative position, also he is able to take the BP. That is a complex overt response. And adaptation is internalization, which we have achieved, that we can take BP at any time and we don't feel that we are doing something as a psychomotor skill. So examples, this is example from Siddha. Design models of Karuvigai and Enthirangal. So I guess that these are the some machines and tools are designed. So this is here the expected level is psychomotor set. This part is for must know, and here shows how. That means the student is under the guidance and he is showing how to prepare this, how to design these models. Then the next is demonstrate the application of pH meter, sieve analyzer, refractometer, tablet hardness tester, and iron moisture analyzer. This is again a psychomotor guided response. The student should perform this activity under the supervision of the teacher. This is the part of must know part, and this is again shows how level in the Miller's pyramid. This prepare Manjala Kappu, Panchak Karpam. I guess these are the some kinds of powders, uptons, and the student should be able to prepare it. Again, it is level is addressed as psychomotor guided response. This must know and shows how level is expected. This is again demonstrate the presence and absence of phytochemicals. Psychomotor guided response is there. Examples from Unani, you can see. This is for general examination of patients. Observe, document, and present general appearance and build and nutrition of the patient. Here, the level expected is PSY MEC, that is mechanism should be achieved. That means the patient should perform the task with the efficiency. Again, the student should be able to perform and demonstrate the examination of pallor, perform and demonstrate the examination of icterus, perform and demonstrate the examination of cyanosis. All these are psychomotor MEC level is expected over here. All this syllabus comes under must know pattern and shows how is addressed as Miller's pyramid. The example from Ayurveda, this is for Panchavida Kashaya Kalpana. Recall, identify, and authenticate the raw material required as per dosage form or formulation. Here, the basic level expected for psychomotor domain is set. That means a student should be ready to do these actions, and must know is there and knows how is the level where Miller's pyramid is levels are concerned. But above that, that is when the student is able to demonstrate the method of preparation to get desired dosage from following SOP. Let's see for preparing the kashaya, he should be able to demonstrate the method for that if he wants 40 ml kashaya for that desired dosage. So this level is expected that student should gain proficiency up to the mechanism level. It is must know part, and again this is shows how. So now moving to the, when we have considered about the brain, we have considered about the hands. Now let's consider about the heart or the behavior of the student, and that is addressed with the affective domain. As we have seen, there are again sub levels for this domain also. These start from receiving to the characterization. So receiving means being open to and aware of certain stimuli or information. It signifies a willingness to pay attention and acknowledge ideas, opinions, and from others. Then the next level for that after receiving is comes responding. That here the student actively responds to the stimuli. This might include expressing opinions, showing interest, or participating in discussions related to the received information. After that, the next level is valuing. When student starts responding, next part is valuing that stimuli. So here, development of a personal connection and attachment to certain values, ideas, or feelings is necessary. Then the student attach significance and importance to what they have received and responded to. Next is organization. Organization of values and beliefs into the coherent and consistent framework. And here the students structure their values, align them with each other with their own personal identity. And last and supreme level of affective domain is characterization. That is the highest affective level representing the internalization and embodiment of the values. So moving to example for this. This is a picture of a person doing yoga and getting up early. So these all values are explained in even in Siddha medicine, in Ayurveda, in Unani medicine also. So one should do the regular exercise or one should get up early. We can say this is first level. The student will show the willingness. Yeah, we should do that. Then secondly, he start responding to that stimuli. Yes, I should get up, or sometimes someday he will get up. Then the level is value, that is development of personal connection. Now he will feel that whenever I get up early and I do this exercise or do this yoga, I get the benefits of that. So the personal connection is developed over there. Then in the level of organization, there is consistent framework that the student will never miss getting up early or doing the yogasanas. And lastly, when it becomes a part of his character, that is internalization, and he will never miss, and he will do it without knowing also, or without if anybody's force. That is the characterization. So this is the supreme level for affective domain. Now examples from our syllabus or curriculum, that is from Siddha. Recognize the importance of yogasana in both physical and mental health. Here affective domain is there. Then this part is for must know, and this is just no knowledge level, and the level is just receiving. That student should receive the knowledge at this stage. Then apply my waste, my responsibility theme, that is for national state waste management policy. Here the level expected is affective value. That means the student should develop a personal connection and attachment to this value, and he should respond accordingly. And this level is must know level, and again knows how is the Miller's pyramid level attached to this. Example from Unani. Discuss the examination of nerves is actually healing touch for patient. So this is again, nerves is not just giving you the information of the state of heart, but it is a healing touch for patient, is the affective addressing affective domain, and this domain is addressing the level value, affecting value, and this is must know and knows how level is expected and the Miller's pyramid. Similarly, participate in community needs assessment approach, enumerate incentives and benefits of family planning under National Family Welfare Program. Here, effective response level is expected, but this part is for nice to know, and it is again shows how level is addressed over here. Example from Ayurveda. Demonstration of skills to identify the medicinal plants in the college garden. So here, the student should be able to participate actively in identification of medicinal plants. If we see many Vaidyas, anywhere they go, they can identify the plants and they start telling the properties of the qualities of that plant, because that it has been internalized as their habit. So here, this habit is addressed, and this is for effective response level is there, and must know part is there, and shows how a level is addressed as Miller's pyramid. So up to this, we have known that table 3 is a guiding pathway for us to plan our lessons, because planning is very much important part of for a facilitator or an educator. So planning has two parts, that is micro planning and macro planning. Macro planning is a high level long-term strategic approach focused on the big picture, goals, and overall direction, often covering months or years. That is macro planning. It shows a huge picture. But micro planning is a detailed short-term operational execution involving daily tasks, specific resource allocation, and detailed schedules. So macro planning is a plan for months or years, or for a whole batch, but micro planning is for your daily lesson plans. We need micro planning. So what is the need of planning? Planning acts as a GPS. It provides directions, how to move, when to move. It reduces the uncertainty. हाँ कर लेंगे, कभी ना कभी हो जाएगा, ऐसी uncertainty reduce होती है when we plan accordingly. Then it minimizes waste. It reduces overlapping. When we plan something integrative approaches, integrative learning approach करते हैं, तो same teacher वही पढ़ा रही, दूसरा भी teacher वही पढ़ा रहा है, तो student gets bored. But when we plan properly about the integrative learning, this reduces overlapping, this reduces the waste of the energy, and reduces the repetition also. Then it facilitates decision making. Then it promotes innovation and it establishes standards for control. So planning establishes the standards for control. So what are the examples of macro planning? Examples, see this national curriculum framework, which is given to us, is a classical example of macro planning. Then the national education policy formulation, that document is again a example of macro planning. The academic calendar is provided by NCISM for each batch. That is for how the 5.5 year course will run for that batch. That is again a classic example of macro planning. Then we prepare for each batch, we prepare advanced teaching plan, that how when the Diwali vacations are there, when the PS will be conducted, when the term and exam will be there. So that is advanced teaching plan. So that is again a part of macro planning. Then we distribute the syllabus, which part of the syllabus will be taken by professor, which part will be taken by the lecturer, which part will be taken by the associate. That distribution of syllabus is again a part of macro planning. Then what is micro planning? So micro planning consists of lesson plan, which is very, very necessary. Meticulously, we should formulate that. Then there is pre-test and post-test. Whenever we are trying to conduct, even for transitional curriculums, we need to plan pre-test and post-test. So for that test also, we need micro planning. Then these different NLH needs various micro plannings, allotting and executing the roles for group discussion and other activities, that who will be the group leader, who will be the scribe, who will write down the notes, who will present everything. So for that also micro planning is needed. Then for NLH activities, that is like inquiry-based learning, for flipped classroom, or for case-based learning, or for problem-based learning, we need to prepare case scenarios, we need to prepare video clips, we need other specific resources. So all these resources we should plan beforehand. So that also needs micro planning. Then when we are arranging field visits or hospital visits or herbal garden visits, or as ma'am has said, manuscript library visit, or many more visits, that also we need micro planning. For integrated learning also we need micro planning, that when, where, how, who will be the involved, which departments are involved, and how to execute that. That is also, and many more places where micro planning is needed. So what is the actually why planning is needed or micro planning is needed? Because this principle of learning states that when you are clear what you have to achieve at the end of the session, your performance improves. Thus, framing appropriate learning objectives is an important part of planning. And we know, we have seen many times that learning outcomes are the statements of what a student should know, understand, and be able to demonstrate after the completion of the process of learning. Here too, the student should know, here the competency knowledge is addressed, and able to demonstrate here the competencies of skill and behavior, or affective domain is addressed. So we have to consider all the three domains while preparing the learning objectives. So what are the components of learning objectives? So components of learning objectives are mainly, we call it as ABCD of learning objective. That is audience. Audience is a learner. Then behavior, that is an observable, measurable action verb. In behavior, there should be an action verb. Then the condition, that is the circumstances in which that learner is doing. And the degree or criteria, that is the standard of success or proficiency. At what standard, at what proficiency the student should be able to do that task. So for example, we will see this example. By the end of this session, the student should be able to calculate the mean data set using scientific calculator with 100% accuracy. So here the component audience in this example is the student. The behavior, I have told you that in behavior, there should be a verb, action verb. So the student should be able to calculate. He should be able to calculate the mean data set. The condition here, it is mentioned as by using scientific calculator. They may mention that without using scientific calculator can be also a condition. And or with using specific software can be the condition. And degree with 100% accuracy. Again, here also you can change what is your expectation. So this is the example of learning objective. So how to write learning outcomes? Learning objectives या learning outcomes लिखने के लिए what we need a stem, we need an action verb, we need the learning, and we need the context. So for this example, by the end of the session, after the session of NLH or LH, the student should be able to, here the action verb is described, again showing the relation of cognitive word, the relationship between parts and functions of human heart. The learning here, the context here is relationship between the parts and functions of the human heart, and the action expected here is student should be able to describe, and where the context is in an oral presentation. So in an oral presentation, the student should be able to describe the relationship between the parts and the functions of the human heart. This will be a learning outcome. So while learning or writing ideal learning objectives, we should keep in our mind that the learning objective should be a specific, should be measurable, should be achievable, should be relevant, and time bound. We all have come across this acronym as a SMART objective. That is, the objective should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. For example, at the end of the LH, the student should be able to enlist 5 examples of Prabhava in oral presentation. So here the specific is mentioned at the end of the, this is time bound is also mentioned. This part is for Dravya Guna, so it is relevant for that course. And how in oral presentation is also, how to measure it, it is also mentioned over here. Similarly, at the end of the NLH, the student should be able to distinguish the following families with diagnostic, vegetative, and reproductive characters. So some families are mentioned over here: Combrettaceae, Myrtaceae, Cucurbitaceae, Apiaceae. If we have listed all the families, then this won't be the specific objective. So for a specific objective and achievable also, because if we consider all the families, then within 1 lecture or within 2 lectures, it is not possible to cover all the families. So one has to write the objectives with considering all these facts, that it should be specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time bound. So use of apt verbs in framing LOs is very necessary. And here we should know that this should address the proper domain also. Here some examples are there that enlist the examples of Prabha, which I have taken earlier. So here this is just enlisting is there. So the domain address here is cognitive domain, and the level is just CK. And even in Miller's pyramid, the basic level nodes should be attained over here. But when we come to the last thing, that is demonstrate and instruct the common yoga protocol, here demonstration and instruction both are expected as action verbs. And here the domain is psychomotor domain. And this part is again must know part of the Swastha Vritta syllabus. So this way one has to frame the LOs very properly by thinking what level that person, what level as a facilitator you want student to gain proficiency. The last part of my presentation is lesson planning. So this part I have taken this lesson plan template is given in the user manual. I have taken it from that. So here what the lesson plan should include. It includes list of learning resources, the name of college, name of the department, name of the course, academic year, then the batch, then the learning objectives are again very important part. Then instruction method, here circle as appropriate is given in that. That is whether you are instructing through lecture, through seminar, through tutorial, through bedside clinics, through OPD sessions, through community visit, or through hospital visit, or any other way. Then duration is there. For LH, how much hours are required? For NLH, how much hours are required? Time is there. Then activity description is again an important part for this. Then resources or AV aids, with what resources are needed or what resources or AV aids are needed for that. And assessment method is again an important part for lesson planning. So I'm giving you one example for this. As there is in Ayurveda second year professional, there is essay to Sanhita, then two courses there. So from that course, I have taken one example. The list of learning resources, Charaka Samhita, you may add Charaka Samhita or other Charaka Samhita with Chakrapani Tika, Charaka Samhita, English translations, whatever. So name of the college, Ayurved Mahavidyalaya, name of the department, Samhita Siddhanta, name of the course is Samhita Adhyan 2, which is for second year BMS. And the topic is Snehadhyay. The Snehadhyay topic considers the oleation therapy, which is required for prerequisite for the Panchakarma. So here in this example, the NLH is planned for 2 hours. The time is given as 10 to 12 a.m. The date is given. Then the learning objectives. The learning objectives, we can take it from the table number 3. But here, this learning objectives are enlist the types of Sneha. What are the types of oleation therapies? Then mention the rule for duration of the Snehapana. For internal oleation or for internal taking the Sneha, what are the rules? Then mention Yogya and Ayogya, who are eligible and who are not eligible for the oleation therapy. Summarize Samyak Snigdha Lakshana, Asnigdha Lakshana, and Atisnigdha Lakshana. Summarize what are the proper oleation signs and symptoms and whether it is excess or less. And last is explain Pathya to be followed, that after oleation therapy, what that patient should follow. So all these domains, here the domains are addressed as only the types of Sneha, that is just cognitive knowledge domain, and others are cognitive comprehension domain. Again, for this, the syllabus first two learning objectives are for must know part, but third and fourth is for desirable to know part. Again, Pathya to be followed should be must know part, because we are this is for second professional years. Maybe for third professional years, this Yogya, Ayogya, and Samyak Snigdha, Atisnigdha Lakshana should will come under must know part. Then again, levels for Miller's pyramid. First is knowledge level, and other 4 are knows how level. First is know level, and other 4 are knows how level. Then instruction method. So here we are arranging a hospital visit. So hospital visit is highlighted over here. So activity description. The students will visit hospitals in small groups along with teacher. They will observe the Sneha Dravyas, that is the medicines used for oleation therapy, and used for Bahya, that is for external application, and for Abhyanta, that is for internal internally taken. They will observe the case who is under Snehapana. Teacher and students will discuss it with keeping the focus on LOs. So we have planned this for 2 hours, because 1 hour we will need for case taking or hospital visit, and 1 hour we will need for the case discussion. So here the resource which we are using is Grace Proforma, and after completion of this activity, NLH activity, we will assess the understanding of the student through the summary writing. So assessment method mentioned should be there in the lesson plan. So this is all from my side. Any questions? And this session is open for the discussion now.
Thank you so much, ma'am. If anyone is having any query, you can raise your hand. If anyone is having any query, you can raise your hands. Can you unshare the screen, ma'am?
Yes, yes. Thank you, one and all.
Thank you so much, ma'am. You can go to React section. You can raise your hand from there. Any query? Yes, Dr. Shruti. You can unmute yourself and raise your query, ma'am. Dr. Shruti.
Dr. Shruti, you can ask your question.
Any other participant, if any query you are having? I think there's Dr. Khyati. You can unmute yourself and raise your query.
Namaste, ma'am. Myself, Dr. Khyati. Ma'am, I want to ask you about the advanced teaching plan. Can you just elaborate us better more?
Okay, for advanced teaching plan, we plan our curriculum for the whole batch. See, for which subject you are teaching, ma'am? Yeah. Okay, for Dravya Guna, we will consider. So for first term, when the students will enter after their first professional year, they will come, and for first term, what the syllabus should come under that, we will plan accordingly. Who will teach that syllabus will be planned. Whether that teaching should be under NLH or NLH, we should make the planning for that also. And for whole year, that if your lectures are from Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, so for Monday, whether it is planned for LH and which faculty is taking that and what topic is taken for that particular day should be planned before that batch comes to you. So that is advanced teaching plan.
Okay, ma'am. Ma'am, I want my subject is from Swasthvritta. So, is it like date-wise planning or just a general plan?
Ideally, it should be date-wise plan. You should keep the calendar in front of you and plan accordingly. If there are holidays, then when that topic to be taught. If Wednesday is a holiday, then when you are going to teach that topic, that should also be planned before that.
Okay. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Anand Katti sir, you are co-host now.
Any other?
If anyone is having any query, you can raise, or I'm opening chat box now. You can type your queries in chat box also. Chat box is open. You can type in chat box. Sorry, sir.
I think we have no more questions.
Shall we wrap, sir?
Yeah, I think we can close it. I thank both of you, Shubham also, him also. Tripti madam.
Yes. Thank you so much, ma'am, for sharing your knowledge on different educational domains with examples from different system of medicine. Thank you so much, Dr. Madhumati, ma'am. So we are now at the end of this today's session. So my sincere thanks to all, first of all, the chairperson of NCISM and President Board of Ayurveda, NCISM, New Delhi, and all the participants, which involves the principals of different colleges, professors, associate professors, assistant professors, and all who have participated in the first session, first day sessions, that is 2 sessions. So we shall meet again tomorrow for the second day session, session 3 and session 4 at 2 p.m. So we shall meet tomorrow, rejoin tomorrow. With this, we will wind up today's sessions.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I thank
you.
everyone from NCISM. One more thing, I request everyone to join tomorrow on time, and we will be having training which is already shared to you. So, and yes, available videos will be there on NCISM YouTube handle. Whatever live session we have done, it will be available there. Further, you were asking, I was seeing in chat box that you asking for PPTs. So that will be shared to college's email, official mail ID, which we are having. So thank you everyone for joining.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. We are ending our meeting here.
Yes.